When you think of pirates, you probably imagine Jack Sparrow, charismatic, brave, and having a grand old time on the high seas. You think of buried treasure, tropical islands, and freedom. Well, let me ruin your childhood for a second. I'm Pink Tie, and today we're stepping aboard a real pirate ship from the golden age of piracy. But before you get excited, leave your expectations at the dock. Forget the rum and the adventure. We're talking about a world of rotting food, bone-shattering diseases, and a smell so bad it could sink a ship before the cannon's even fired. Grab your sea legs and maybe a bar of soap, because things are about to get very, very messy. First thing you'd notice? The smell. A pirate ship was essentially a floating barn mixed with a garbage dump. Since there was no refrigeration, pirates kept live animals on board for fresh meat. Imagine chickens, goats, and cows living in cramped, dark spaces right next to where you sleep. And let's talk about the heads. The pirate version of a toilet. It was basically a hole at the front of the ship. If the sea was rough, you'd be doing your business while hanging onto a rope for dear life, getting splashed by freezing salt water. There was no toilet paper, just old ropes, or if you were lucky, some salt water. Between the animal waste, the unwashed bodies of 100 men, and the stagnant water in the bottom of the ship, called bilge water, the stench was legendary. Sailors said you could smell a pirate ship from miles away before you even saw their black flag. Hungry? I hope not. The staple of every pirate's diet was something called hardtack. It was a biscuit made of flour and water, baked so hard it could literally break your teeth. To eat it, you had to soak it in coffee or beer just to soften it up. But here's the gross part. Hardtack was almost always infested with weevils, tiny little beetles in their larvae. Pirates actually preferred to eat in the dark, so they wouldn't have to see the bugs crawling out of their food. If you saw a pirate tapping his biscuit on the table, he wasn't keeping a beat. He was trying to knock the bugs out. And the water? After a few weeks at sea, the water in the wooden barrels would turn green with algae and slime. To make it drinkable, pirates created grog, a mix of water, old rum, and a bit of lime. It didn't taste good, but the alcohol killed the bacteria. Mostly. The biggest enemy of a pirate wasn't the British Navy. It was a disease called scurvy. Without vitamin C from fresh fruit, your body literally starts to fall apart. Your gums would swell and turn black, and your teeth would simply fall out. But it gets weirder. Scurvy caused old wounds, scars you'd had for years, to suddenly open back up. If you had a broken bone 10 years ago, the internal knit would dissolve, and the bone would break again. Pirates would wander the deck like zombies, bleeding from their pores and losing limbs to gangrene. It wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean, it was a horror movie. It wasn't all bad, though. Pirate ships were actually some of the most democratic places on Earth at the time. While most people lived under kings, pirates elected their captains by vote. They even had a disability insurance plan. If you lost an arm in a fight, the crew would pay you a set amount of gold from the treasury. And that eye patch? It wasn't always because of a missing eye. Pirates used them for night vision. By keeping one eye covered, they kept it adjusted to the dark. When they ran below deck into the pitch-black cargo hold to fight, they'd flip the patch and boom, instant night vision. It was a 17th century tactical advantage. So, do you still want to be a pirate? Between the maggot biscuits, the floating bond smell, and your teeth falling out, I think I'll stick to my 21st century bathroom and a job that doesn't involve scurvy. Life on the high seas was a brutal gamble for freedom. They were built different, but I'm glad we just get to watch movies about them instead of living it. If you enjoyed this trip into the grime of history, hit that subscribe button and join the Pink Tie crew for more. Stay clean, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next era. Goodbye.